Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. Today,
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Waalaikumsalam.
today we will be discussing a real-world workplace safety case involving a manufacturing company that failed to install engineering noise controls around a corrugator machine. The company noise risk assessor had formally recommended the installation of noise barriers to reduce workers' exposure to hazardous noise levels. Despite this professional recommendation, management did not take immediate corrective action. As a consequence, two workers developed noise-induced hearing loss, commonly known as NIHL, a permanent and irreversible occupational disease that has changed their life forever. This case raises critical question. Why was the recommendation ignored? Who is responsible? And most importantly, how can effective leadership prevent this from happening again? To help us explore this question, I am pleased to welcome three distinguished guests today. First, Mr. Amir, our Safety and Health Manager. Next, Mr. Safwan, our Safety and Health Officer. And finally, Mr. Muhammad, our Production Manager. Thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedule for this important discussion. I truly value your insight. Okay, let us begin with our first question. Mr. Amir, based on this case, what leadership style do you believe is most suitable for preventing this type of workplace accident and why?
Thank you for your question, Ms. Dalia. In my professional opinion, I believe that transformational leadership is the most effective style when it comes to preventing occupational accident and disease such as NIHL. A transformational leader does not simply manage tasks or enforce procedures. They inspire employees by setting a clear and compelling vision. In this context, a vision where every single worker returns home safely at the end of every working day. In the case we are discussing, management was already fully aware of the excessive noise hazard. The noise risk assessor had submitted a formal professional recommendation to install engineering controls, yet management chose to delay. This reflection a reactive mindset on that waits for tragedy before taking action. A transformational leader would have treated the recommendation as an immediate call to action. They would have allocated the necessary budget, assigned a responsible team, establish a clear deadline, and follow up to ensure the controls were installed promptly. When leaders genuinely prioritize safety, not just in work but in action, it sends a powerful message to the entire workforce that people matter far more than production targets. And that message shapes how every employee thinks he behaves every single day.
That is a very powerful point, Mr. Amir. Thank you. Mr. Safwan, do you agree with Mr. Amir's view? Is there anything you would like to add or perhaps a different perspective to share?
Yes, I strongly agree with Mr. Amir. Transformational leadership is a certain channel. However, I would also like to highlight the equally important role of participative leadership. The workers who operate the corrugator machine every day are the ones most directly exposed to excessive noise. They are often the first to notice change in hazard level or deteriorating condition. The problem in many workplaces, workers are afraid to speak up. They fear being dismissed, ignored, or even penalized for raising concern. A pacifist leader break down that culture of silence. They actively involve workers in risk assessment, safety briefing, and problem-solving discussion. When employees genuinely feel that their observations are heard and respected, they become far more engaged and communicated to safety practices. In this particular case, if workers have been encouraged to report the excessive noise early, and if management had to act promptly on that feedback, the might have been entirely preventable. In short, transformationally, leadership inspires safety from the top down, while participative leadership builds safety from the ground up. Both working together create a truly strong safety environment.
Excellent perspective, Mr. Muhammad. As production manager, you often balance production demands with safety requirements. What is your view on this?
Okay, thank you very much, Cik Dahlia. I agree with both Mr. Amir and Mr. Safwan view. From my experience on the production floor, I want to emphasize one thing clearly. Leader must be proactive, not reactive. In too many workplaces, meaningful safety action only occurs after someone has already been injured. By then, it is too late already. In this case, two workers now carry permanent hearing damage that cannot be undone no matter how much we invest afterward. A proactive leader does not wait for injury to happen. They take risk assessment report seriously, act immediately on recommendation, and anticipate hazard before workers are exposed. Head management installed the noise barrier promptly after receiving the assessor recommendation. Those two workers would have been protected. I would also like to address the cost argument because it's often come up. The cost of installing noise barrier is significantly lower than the combined cost of compensation claim, medical expenses, low productivity, investigation proceeding, and most importantly, the irreversible human suffering of the worker involved. My message is simple. If the risk has been identified, deal with it immediately. Do not wait. Do not delay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. That was very insightful. Let us now move on to our second question. How does leadership influence workers' behavior, compliant with safety procedures and the overall safety culture within an organization? Mr. Amir, would you like to begin?
Surely, certainly. Leadership has an enormous influence on employee behavior, often more than any written policy or procedure ever could. Workers are highly observant. They notice whether their manager actually follows safety rules and whether safety is only enforced during inspection and audits. If managers walks past a clear safety hazard without addressing it, employee receives a powerful unspoken message. Safety is not truly a priority here. But when leaders consistently model the right behavior, wearing their PPE all the times, conducting regular safety walks, responding swiftly and visibly to hazardous reports, and raising safety in every meeting, it normalizes safety as a core part of a daily work. Over time, this creates what we call a positive safety culture, a workplace where employees comply with safety rules not merely because they are required to, but because they genuinely believe it is the right thing to do. That is a kind of culture that prevents accidents before they ever happen.
Well said. Mr. Safwan, how does communication specifically contribute to building that culture?
Communication is absolutely central to effective safety leadership. Many workplace accidents, including the case we are discussing today, could have been prevented with clear, more consistent communication between management and workers. Leaders need to establish regular reliable channel for security through where any worker can raise a concern without hesitation. Worker must know exactly who to report to when they identify a hazard, and critically, they must be confident of their report will be taken seriously and accepted upon. This case management delay action even after receiving a formal professional recommendation that signal a serious breakdown not just in communication but in follow through and accountability. When employees see the management genuinely listen, investigate promptly, and take visible action, they become far more willing to report hazard early. And that early reporting is exactly management developing into permanent, life-altering occupational. Trust is built through foundation of a strong safety culture.
Thank you, Mr. Safwan. Mr. Muhammad, from your day-to-day experience leading a team, what has been most important?
From my experience, the most important factor is consistency. I have observed it many times. Leaders speak passionately about safety during audits, during National Safety Month, when an external inspection is approaching. But on ordinary working days, that passion disappears. Shortcuts are quietly tolerated. PPE compliance is overlooked. Safety reminder stop. Workers notice this. When they see a gap between the leaders say and what the leader actually do, they lost confidence in the system. They begin to think, if management does not truly care, why should I? But when leader consistently embedded safety into every part of daily operation, in production meeting, shift handover, casual conversation on the floor, employees begin to internalize it. Safety stop being a checklist item and becomes part of how they naturally think and work. That is how a genuine, lasting safety culture is built up through consistent leadership demonstrated every single day, not only when it is convenient.
Thank you all for those thoughtful responses. Our final question for today is, how can leaders build a truly resilient occupational safety and health environment, particularly in high-risk industry such as manufacturing? Mr. Amir, please share your thoughts.
Building a resilient OSH environment requires a sincere long-term commitment from leadership, not just policy document on a shelf. First, leader must conduct regular and thorough risk assessment, not as a compliance formality, but as a genuine effort to identify and eliminate hazards before they cause harm. In this case, the risk assessment was conducted correctly. The failure was in what happened afterwards. Second, leader must ensure that adequate resources are allocated for safety improvement. Cause concerns often cause management to delay or scale back on safety measures. But the reality is clear. Prevention is always far less expensive than financial, legal, and human cost of an accident. Third, there must be a robust system for tracking corrective actions to completion, with defined timeline, assigned responsibility, and regular follow-up. A recommendation that sits in a report and is never acted upon offer no protections whatever. Safety must be treated as a long-term investment in people and in the organization future, not as an expense to be minimized.
Very practical advice, Mr. Amir. Mr. Safwan, what role does continuous learning and training play in building this resilience?
Resilience in any system comes from the ability to learn, adapt, and continuously improve. The same principle applies to workplace safety. Leaders should cultivate a culture where workers feel genuinely comfortable reporting near misses and unsafe condition and hazard without any fear of blame or punishment. Every incident, including near miss, should be investigated thoroughly, not to find someone to hold responsible, but to understand the root cause and prevent the same event from recurring. Regular updated safety training is also essential. Knowledge and skill must be evolved as technology, processes, and risk profile change. Workers should not only know what the safety rules are, but deeply understand the reason behind them, so that when the unexpected situation arises, they can make safe decisions independently. When every incident is treated as a learning opportunity rather than a failure, the organization becomes stronger and more capable with every challenge it faces. This is what the rule resilience looks like.
Thank you, Mr. Safwan. Mr. Muhammad, any final thoughts to share with us?
I want to close with this: resilience cannot be achieved by leader alone. It required a collaborative commitment across every level of organization, from senior management setting the vision to supervision, reinforcing it daily. To frontline workers making safe choices on the ground in a real time. Leaders should regularly review safety performance data, injury rate, hazard report, near-miss record, and use the data intelligently to identify trends and make evidence-based decisions. They should also actively recognize and reward safe behavior and not only respond when unsafe behavior occurs. Positive reinforcement is a powerful driver of culture change. Technology absolutely has a role to play. Noise monitoring system, automated alert, digital safety management platform, but technology is only a tool. Without committed leadership and genuine employee involvement at every level, even the most advanced system will not be effective. A resilient workplace is built on people and on the leaders who truly invest in them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Amir, Mr. Safwan, and Mr. Muhammad for your valuable and deeply insightful contributions today. From this discussion, we have learned that leadership is not simply about authority or position. It is about influence, responsibility, and unwavering commitment to the people under our care. Effective leaders inspire their employees to genuinely care about safety. They foster open and honest communication. They involve workers at every level in safety decision, and most critically, they take action before accident happen, not after. The corrugator machine case is a powerful reminder that when safety recommendations are dismissed or delayed, real people suffer and lasting consequences. Two workers now live with permanent hearing loss that could have been prevented with the right leadership and the right action at the right time. Let this case serve as a call to action for all of us, whether we are senior leaders, safety officers, supervisors, or frontline workers, to treat safety as a shared responsibility every single day. Because at the end of the day, every worker deserves to go home safe. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.